I gotta get my pants. I forgot to hit the go live button. Squeaky noises. Squeaky noises. This is that rock music part. Oh my God, it's the rock music part. Oh, still rock music part. Oh, good. How long does it go for? Brr. Oh, it still goes. There's more. Oh my God. More music. I think it's the end of the song. Oh my God, it's the end of the song. Wow. Oh, hold on. What color do we want the lights today? Quick poll. Which color do we want the lights? What color? What color do we want the lights? Everybody likes the lights. Ooh. Red makes me look more tan. Oh, red makes me look more tan. Although I actually am more tan than I was last week. I can say that for a fact, Jack. I can say that for a fact. I'm more tan than I was last week. Your boy was out in the smoldering sun all weekend. And I know before anybody gives me a hard time about the plywood stack in the back, it is the same this week. The plywood stack is the same this week. 2 pallets of wood. Sorry, scratch that. 3 pallets of wood that were outside have been diminished. But these ones are still just in here because these are going to be the backs. These are going to be the backs of some big cabinets I'm building. Can you guys see? No, you guys can't see them. I've got a bunch stored back there. That's why I didn't give you guys the fish tank view today. Wait, let's check the fish tank view. We can see. Can we see the corner still? Hold on. Let me move me over here. Oh, gee, what? Hold on. We have to hold buttons down. We gotta hold on to the buttons. Is it Control or Alt? Which one is it? Oh, we can see the corner of a fish tank. Look at the corner. Look at the edge. See a little bit of algae in the corner over there? There's I have fish swimming in the background. Look at that. Fugly looking tank right now. That needs a little bit of cleaning. But don't worry, we'll make a video out of cleaning that. Oh, well, I'll record a video. I don't know if I'll ever make a video out of it. I'm sure I will at some point. At some point, I'll be like, oh my God, guys, I've got so much video that I'm just going to be able to edit it. But outside projects are influencing whether I can make YouTube videos or not. So I have not been able to be editing very many videos and not getting a lot of sleep. I looked at my sleep thing the other day. I have a thing that tracks my sleep, and not great, not terrible, but not great either. So either way, been busy. Currently lost 9 pounds also, so that's good. That's good for the slimming down for the summer months. Right? Everybody's supposed to slim down for the summer months, right? And you're supposed to bulk up in the wintertime, I think. Good thing vacation is coming up. Sleep time. Yes, vacation will be coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up sooner than you think. Vacation is coming, and we'll be having some fun in Europe for a little bit. For a little bit of time, we shall be experiencing the Europe, for everything that Europe has. What does Europe have? I don't know. Sandwiches? Tapas? Tortas? Tacos? I don't know. Let's look up, Spanish dishes. Let's look up so we can remind ourselves. We can remind ourselves what the F is going to be happening in Spain. Oh, of course, every website requires you to have cookies now. Save the cookies. Gazpacho, I probably won't try it. Paella, I've had many times. Tortilla española, maybe, but it's a potato dish, so I probably will pass. Gambas al ajillo, yes. Tostas de tomate y jamón, yes, I will have those for sure. Patatas bravas, no, I don't want potatoes. Pollo al ajillo, yes. Oh, cochinillo asado, yes, I'll have that for sure. Pisto, I mean, I think realistically, if I was going to have pisto, I'd want like scrambled eggs. I don't want like the sunny side up. I don't like sunny side up eggs. I have chickens and we have eggs in the backyard, and I still don't like them sunny side up. What do you want me to do? I don't know what to tell you. I like them as hollandaise or scrambled or an omelet. But that's scrambled too, right? Like omelets are scrambled. I don't know. I mean, for whatever reason, it is what it is. Turon. I don't know what turon is. I don't know what that is. Spaniards devour massive amounts of turon, almost or almond nougat at Christmas, although it is available year-round. I've never tried that. I will mark on my list to try this. Turon. I don't know. Let's see how you say it. Let's go to Google. How to pronounce. Oh, God. How to meow, meow, meow. Pronunciation, meow, meow. Meow, meow.
Turin.
That's it?
Turin.
Let's see. What does this say? Oh, great. We have a music. Turon. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. I'll try it. I'm going to try it. I don't know what it is. It's nougat, almonds, pistachios. I'm in. Nougat. I'm going to get it inside my body. Oh, my God. We've got a super chat for ice cream. Oh, my God. We got a super chat for ice cream. It's a red one. It's a $200. Oh, I can hit the heart button. Look at this. I can react now. Can I react to... I can't react when people gift memberships. What the... YouTube? Let me react. Okay. Okay, okay, elephant in the room. We got 10 gifted memberships from Witchy Cat. Lady Guinevere, Mark. It started with a fish. Mexicali Fish Keeper. Vitra. Turing's Enigma. Which I watched the, or I didn't watch it. I listened to the Enigma movie. What was that one? The Alan Turing movie with Bar Snandersnatch, whatever that guy's name is. What was that movie called? Imitation Game, right? Is that right? Yeah, I think that was right. The Imitation Game? Yeah, okay. So solving the enigma? Yeah, anyhow. Sad movie. It makes me sad. Made me sad, made me cry. I got upset. I got sad. I listened to it at 2x speed. 2x speed. Oh, here, I can I not react? I can't react to... I can only react to $200 super chats, apparently. What the fuck is up with this stupid YouTube? Why can't I react to that? Is it because it's a sticker? Is it because it's a sticker? Don't tell me it's because it's a sticker. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Did I shout out anybody else? Michael Boulot, and Nix, and Carson. And Shelby Ray Lane. Okay, there we go. We shouted them out. We've shouted them. You guys are new members, which means you got to assist other people becoming new members. Oh, crap. We got to figure out what our number is. We had 69. Nice. Before. We got to refresh because I didn't check it this morning. Internet loading slowly. Oh, here we go. Internet loading slowly. We're at 59, so... We add 10 to 59. We're still at 69. There we go. It self-regulates. It's updating somehow. Yeah. There we go. Oh, what the F? It feels hot in here today, dude. Dudes, it feels hot in here. I don't know why. Sweaty. Well, probably because I was outside cutting up wood. Probably is why I'm sweaty. I don't know. What do I have this set to? What's the actual temperature in here? The actual temperature in here is hot. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, probably because I drank that. Probably because I drank a big coffee drink right before the stream. I could be getting hot because of that. Probably too much caffeine. Could be the issue. I don't know. We might die. If I die today, I'll die happy. Because, as the stream title explains, celebrating a decade of sobriety, today is 10 years sober. For me, it's my official 10-year birthday. It's not my belly button birthday. It's my sobriety birthday, which I consider to be much more of a feat than my belly button birthday. Belly button birthday means I just didn't die for another year, which in its own right, okay, let's be clear, in its own right is a feat to at least be appreciated. But if we are talking about the 10 years of sobriety, it's actually a thing. It's actually a thing I did one day at a time, right? And I posted earlier today about it, and I realized that I was like, I wish I had some really profound words for people about being sober for 10 years. And the reality is, like, oh, hold on, I can check the temperature this way. Why is it saying that the walls are 74 degrees? How warm is the tank? 74. Is everything 74 in here? How warm am I? Does this work? Okay. Okay, the light bulbs are warmer. I don't know. It's saying that everything's 74 degrees in here, which is it is what it is. What are we going to do? But as I was saying, I was really hoping earlier that I would have some like really profound words for like people out there on my 10-year sobriety birthday, whatever you want to call it. But I honestly really didn't. I didn't have anything. I started thinking about some stuff. It definitely has evoked a lot of introspection and thinking about things, but I don't know if it's really like, I don't know that it's really presented itself in a way that is communicatable. I was going to say communicable, but that's not right. Communicatable? Yeah. In a way that I could really communicate with people externally. I don't know, but we'll try to suss it out here. We'll try to suss it out for a minute. 10 years ago on this date, I had like, people would say that like I had a profound moment, and folks that believe in God or whatever, the Judeo-Christian God or your Hindu God or your Greco-Roman God or whatever, around here, we pray to, was it Helios? Is that right? Yeah, the sun god, right? That's who we pray to around here. I have to look it up because I don't believe any of the organized religion's nonsense. We just pray to the sun itself. The sun is a selfless God. It doesn't ask for me to do anything. It doesn't lead me to believe there's some kind of thing after. There's some kind of reward later on. No, I'm supposed to just soak up its rays and live a life. That's what I'm supposed to do. It doesn't demand anything from me, but it sometimes gives people cancer. So I guess maybe some people could you could be like, oh, the wrath of God, skin cancer. All right. The reason that I would even consider myself having a higher power at this point has more to do with an organization I became involved with 10 years ago to this date, which is Alcoholics Anonymous. And one of the things that they teach you about is learning to understand that you are not the center of the universe. And through that, they talk about, submitting to a higher power or just understanding that there is a higher power. And recognizing that you aren't the center of the universe makes it a lot easier to navigate the day-to-day life. When you have 20 things that you need to do in your day, you can make a list and just try your best to work your way through the 20 items on the list, as opposed to imagining that everything that's happening in the world is because of something that you did. It's more of a stance that going like, I can implement what I can do what I can. All the other stuff I don't need to worry about all that much, and I'm probably not even influencing any of it. As a perfect example, I'm not influencing anybody to drop a bomb on anybody in any other country. I'm not doing any of that. So to really actively worry about that kind of stuff isn't necessarily going to help my day-to-day life when the people I'm actually interacting with and coming in contact with, like my daughter, my spouse, people I work for, people I do work for, people I run into at the grocery store, whatever, all that stuff, and how I'm just operating my life and doing the best that I can to be the best person that I can in all of those instances makes it a lot easier to get through the day. So, about 10 years ago, people would say it was like I had like a profound Jesus come to Jesus moment or whatever. But the reality of it realistically, in my mind, and as I recounted through my notes last year, I didn't do it today, to be clear, but last year I was going through the notes of all the my diary. I like to call it a diary because it's the most effeminate thing that I could say. You could call it's my journal, right? If you want to be bro tough, you could be like, it's my journal. It's where I keep my journaling. Anyhow, I was going through my diary at the time and really kind of thinking back on what was happening to me at the time. And the reality was, it would be disingenuous for me to say 99% of my problems had to do with drugs and alcohol. That's not factually true, right? But it would be factually true to say 50% of my problems were self-inflicted through drugs and alcohol, right? 100% of the self-inflicted problems that I had to do with drugs and alcohol and my relationship with drugs and alcohol. And at that moment in time, I don't know what I was thinking, but something had to dramatically change. So like something had to change. It was just, that was the big deal. Was like, man, something has to change, and I don't know what it is. And so I pretty much just sat down on the ground and just stopped doing what I was doing. And was like, I have got to make some dramatic changes in my life. Amongst those changes in my life, a lot of them had to do with interpersonal relationships. I had to get sober. I had to essentially go to therapy type situation to start figuring out like what is motivating the internal decisions to sort of drown myself in drugs and alcohol in order to not actively address issues that were happening in my life. It really was for a long period in my life, it was an ability to pacify myself through disappointments in my life. Hold on a second. Okay. And that I needed to remove that from my day-to-day interaction so that I could actually take the time to start to figure out like what was motivating my day-to-day decisions and how I was essentially operating in the world. And I don't know why it's so freaking hot in here. Hold on. It actually is warm in here, so we're gonna change the mode from dry to cool. And we're gonna set it to 70 degrees, and we're gonna see what happens. It just actively is warm in here. And I used the laser, and it says it's 75. And I know 76. 76 degrees is not going to... It's not going to work. It's too hot. Do guys not keep diaries? No, girls keep diaries. Guys keep journals because you got to be bro tough, right? Really, I thought journaling was more feminine. Another proof on how I fail social norms. I think I fail social norms by keeping Aubrey says captain's log. That's good. I like that. Captain's log. Stardate butt fart McPoop butt. I don't know what the stardate is right now. Should we check what the stardate is? We'll get back to my emotional ramblings here in a minute. What do we look up? Current. Oops. Current stardate. Oh, our current start date is 0 because it's supposed to start in in the year 2323. How do we? Well, what's today? Start date 41,000. What? you fucking nerds. You nerds have gone too nerdy. What's the start date today? Oh, man, we can't even look this up. I thought I wanted to look up just like, hey, what's the start date today? Yeah, I don't know. It's not helping. It's not helping. We tried to look it up. Google failed us. The Star Trek nerds don't have a start date, an active start date thing from the 5 links I clicked on. I don't know. So we'll see. D-Rock says, 1 day at a time, brother. That's correct. Critty Bitty, congratulations. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Rosie, I just want to say thanks to all the people that are saying congratulations. I appreciate it. Skogs with the $200 super chat, and Witchy Cat with the 10 gifted memberships. Very generous. Thank you guys. Very much appreciate that too. Okay, so the big thing is that, like I said, 100% of my problems have never fallen on drugs and alcohol. It would be sort of inaccurate. Well, Skogs just left the green room. Do you guys want to talk in the green room? You could just start talking. Skogs, come back. Oh, man, he left. I wanted to say hi to him.
Just waiting for you to finish your thing. Get going.
Oh, man, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I fucking forgot. I started thinking about star dates and shit. I'm losing my mind over here.
Sorry.
But yeah, so like the bigger aspect of it is that like 100% of my problems never came from drinking and doing drugs. But it was definitely a contributing factor that was far out of my control and was contributing nothing but negativity to the existing issues that I had. Does that make sense? Was that 2 sentences that made sense? I don't know. So that to the point where you go, oh, I have my normal day-to-day problems, but they're being exacerbated to a point where you can no longer address them just like a human is supposed to, right? So like, let's say you had a minor issue. Instead of a minor issue, all of a sudden now it's a giant issue, but you can't deal with any giant issues because all the minor issues are fucking these huge mountains that you got to try to climb. That was pretty regularly my situation. Recently, I talked to somebody and they're like, wow, you must have saved so much money. And factually, it's probably true. In the realistic terms, I do not feel like, oh, wow, I'm a wealthy man now because I quit drinking and doing drugs. So there is that. So if anybody out there ever thinks, oh, wow, I'm going to get super rich if I stop, that shouldn't be your motivation. Your motivation should be having a much more enjoyable life. Like I said, minor problems become major problems. Major problems become gargantuan problems, and gargantuan problems are unfucking tenable. They're just nothing you're ever going to be able to do about it. You know, one of the unfortunate things that I noticed over the years of getting sober and like working on my amends and stuff was that mostly most of the people that I thought I had done something wrong to pretty regularly were like, no, you didn't really do anything all that bad. You didn't really do anything to me that was bad, but you generally did most bad things to yourself. Which is sort of reassuring that like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore because the only things that are happening, I'm inflicting bad things on myself, and it's only going to get worse over time. So as D-Rock mentioned earlier, it's 1 day at a time. It's, you know, I kind of feel like you're always standing on a cliff's edge, and that you might fall off of it if you are not maintaining your vigilance. That's sort of how it feels for a long period of time. Nowadays, it feels like the cliff is over there, It's still looming, but I'm not hanging over the edge. I'm not holding I'm not wearing a parachute and getting ready to base jump. You know what I mean? It's more like, oh, I've got a rope on, and there is a cliff over there, and I could rappel down if I really needed to, but I don't think I'm ever going to choose that option because I want to keep going up, and that's why I got this rope on, because I want to keep climbing. I want to keep climbing up. And I think that's probably more and more like my attitude towards life now, as opposed to just like slogging along. I think a lot of people know that I have a shitload of bees tattooed on me, and it has pretty much always been my belief that bees are like a perfect representation of what a sort of selfless community looks like. And that's what I'm continuing my endeavors on. That's pretty much where, when I sit down and I think about like what my dream future is going to look like, it would be, I don't even know if I need to be the leader, but I'd like to be a part of some kind of selfless community that is able to, do a lot of good. King of the spicy sky raisins? Oh, you mean like the bees? Skog says, getting sober saved me a lot of money, but I never had debt before. So the $8 in my pocket had me way ahead of a lot of people financially, but I'd rather be in my current position. Finances are incredibly confusing. They're incredibly confusing for a lot of people to understand. American society sort of, well, not sort of, but factually has molded itself into a requirement that Americans have to essentially be in debt. Leveraging debt allows people to do a lot of things that they otherwise wouldn't be able to do. Owning a home requires people to be in a lot of debt, and it is admittedly a little bit scary when you go and look at the ledger sheet, and you'd be like, how much in hundreds of thousands do I still owe? But I don't think that there's any way for an individual. There's really no way for an individual to change how economics work in the United States, and how the fact that like capitalism won, and capitalism has affected every political decision since the 1940s, maybe the 1950s, depending on really who you talk to. It has been an ongoing thing for at least the last 80 years that capitalism has been the dominant decision maker in the American political system. It really has. And it has led us to be forced into a position where we have to leverage our debt in order to build something for the future. It's the reality. But, Kelly Roach says, happy Monday, everyone. Well, yeah, happy Monday to you, too. Happy Monday. It's your Monday. Everybody's gonna Monday. Everyone's gonna Monday. I don't even know. I've lost track. Witchy Cat, what's going on? What's going on in your neck of the woods? Did all your cats did all your cats and dogs get their snips and clips and
oh yes, indeed. We have all been fixed.
They've all been
all the mice that came in the cabin while they were feeling low are now out of the house. Finally.
Murdered.
I did not have to get an exterminator. I only had to turn the cats loose. So the cats that didn't go now are angry at the cats that did because they smell weird. So there's lots of hissing while we all readjust to each other. And the cattle are driving the dogs nuts. So good times.
Oh, you got cows on the loose?
Oh yes, somebody left the gate open. The joys of neighbors. So. Yep.
Oh, somebody
Sometimes.
let the gate open and then the cows wandered on your property.
Yep. So,
Did you
the day
did you fence off your whole property or just like a portion of it?
No, the whole thing is fenced.
Oh.
I have not gotten the gate opener yet. That's end of the month. So once the gate opener comes, no, not Children of the Sons of Gun. Once the gate, then the neighbors are, well, basically, they don't get to go through until they come and make nice. So. But then I'll be able to plant things. They've already trampled the new apple trees. I think they'll be able to be saved, but it's not looking good.
The apple trees will get murdered by the bovine influence.
Yes, the cowdle, as my daughter used to call them.
The cowdle?
She didn't ever call them cattle or cows.
Ah.
She was, Mommy, look, there's cowdle.
Oh.
Okay.
Dirty bovines, otherwise known as lunch.
Oh, I wish. Not worth the prison time.
Yeah, you factually can't murder someone else's cow. You get in trouble.
No. Yes.
Rustling cattle. I wonder if they just string you up for rustling cattle because they probably haven't like updated those laws.
My guess is it depends on who catches you. There's a lot of, as we mentioned in the Discord, shit, shovel, and shut up attitude around here. So, shoot, shovel, and shut up. So.
Oh, here we go in Idaho.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hold on. It's long. It's long-winded.
Shocking.
We're gonna highlight it so it's easier to read. The court shall assess civil damages against the defendant in any amount necessary to fully compensate the owner of the fur-bearing animals raised for commercial purposes or livestock for his loss.
Wait, so if I shave them first? Oh,
yeah, I don't know. It says that they're fur-bearing. Oh, I burped.
I can kill chickens, other people's chickens, but not other people's cattle. Good to know.
Well, that was Idaho.
Well.
Minimum fine for theft of livestock. RCW 9A.56.080.
I'm going to guess 10 grand.
The convicting court shall order the person to pay the amount of $2,000 for each animal killed or possessed.
That actually might be cheaper than buying it at the store currently, now that I think about it. Pre-butcher.
Well, I guess if you were buying it bit by bit, but I think how much? Well, actually, yeah, it might be less. No, because
I think a
quarter cow
in freezer is 500 or so right now.
Yeah, but that's like it's already butchered. You're gonna have to pay the butcher and everything. I mean, unless you're really ambitious and have a big bandsaw and you know.
No,
I've broken down cows before, but it's not like like you need some tooling. You need some tooling to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like I've got a knife. Here we go.
Yeah, no. The largest, well, deer and goats are the biggest I've done. I haven't done.
You need a hoist. You need a crane.
Or a
forklift.
Tractor with a big bucket. I've seen that used on a number of occasions.
You need the tractor with the bucket and the big chain on it.
Yeah.
But it also needs to lift high enough to get the up in the air. So it's got to be a pretty big one if you're going to do that.
Yeah, it would have to be a calf or a pig. All right, now that we've grossed everyone out with butchering stories. Sorry, guys.
No. We're still going to talk about that forever. Until people type in the chat. No. Anyhow, I remember this time I was butchering a cow. No. Yeah. So the projects around here have gotten out of hand. It's gotten wildly out of hand. There's so many things going on. It's bonkers at the moment.
You tell.
There's stuff. There's just so much stuff. It's crazy.
Okay. Are you going to be in Spain twitching, knowing that there's any number of things just not happening at the house? Or will you be able to let go?
It's in other people's houses, too.
Yeah, well.
It's my house and other people's houses. There's just so many things going on. It's ridiculous. It's redonkulous at this point. So, yeah.
That's good. That means that your business and such is coming along, yes?
Oh, Alyssa says to continue. She's not grossed out. Okay. So anyhow, when you stab a cow, right, in its gut part, no. Yeah, it's been busy, and I've had extra stuff thrown on top of it, like demolishing the whole fence for the property here and building a whole new one while I'm doing the other stuff.
How's that coming along? You get it finished?
No.
Nope. All right. Well, I was hoping.
Nope.
How many swarms have you caught in the great beekeeping cycle?
2.
Dose?
2 swarms. One, we don't know if it's going to make it, but it is what it is. Another one was on top of the RV last week. And had to take the air conditioner off the RV.
Sweet, cool air.
No,
everything's sticky.
No, they go into hide in an area. They're trying to make a hive in there.
Right.
I don't know why. That just seems like such a stupid spot to be, but they went in there, and I think the queen flew in there, and then they were like, "Oh, we should go in here into the AC unit." So we had to take the AC unit off the trailer, off the recreational camping trailer, and get the bees out of there. And then it's the beekeeping. It's far too dramatic. So far, it's been far too dramatic. The bees that we got have been building queen cells like crazy, which is annoying, but it is what it is. And we're really not set up to raise up the queens. Which realistically, like if you're a beekeeper and you are especially if you're doing it as a job, like if you want to be a professional apiary beekeeper, right? One of the biggest parts of the business is taking out all of the queen cells and hatching them and raising queens and then selling queens. As has been explained to me, it's very easy for people to sell a queen bee for like $200 pretty easily. If you go online, here's a queen bee for $80, $100, up to $600 depending on the bee.
Not a little bad chunk of change if they're, producing highly. So,
well, I mean, if new queens, basically just brand new queens, you can sell them. You're selling one bee essentially, and a couple of attending drones, but especially if they're local too. Like, hey, these were born, 5 miles away. They're pretty acclimated. They're pretty acclimated to where they've been born. And it's my understanding is that it's a big part of get all of those queen cells, hatch them out, and then sell the queens, or put them into nuke hives and get them to build up a hive, and then you can sell the nukes, because I think a nucleus hive is like what, $400?
Okay.
actually just the 5-frame box is like $250.
Yeah, the hives are expensive.
Just the box. I don't even think these have any bees in
Frames
them.
in 'em.
Maybe they do have bees in them. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if we can't find a nucleus hive. Okay, here's the box for $50. Okay, so those must have bees for $250.
Okay.
Yeah, these ones are $200, $215, $250, $420. Haha.
Like,
I wonder why they posted them at $420.
it's not even Earth Day.
Yeah, so selling the nucleus hives is probably a big moneymaker too. But as far as advice I've gotten, there are a lot of people that sell just the queen because obviously there's not a whole lot of material there, right? Like you don't have to move a whole lot. All you need is a queen cage, a couple of attending bees, and you can ship that right over. But also, if it's been locally raised and bred, then people can buy a queen, get the queen going, and it's pretty easy. Or if their hive's going to die, right, because they've lost their queen,
Right, they can
and
replace her.
and you have a queen that's ready to go, you can replace them pretty quickly. One of the real tricks there that I've heard recently is that if you get your new queen, you got to encapsulate her in honey. So basically, or not honey, candy. Basically, what you do is you put this candy coating around the entrance and exit, and then you can put that in the hive, and then all the bees slowly but surely eat their way through the candy. Much more likely to accept the queen if they do that, if they do it that way. So I was like, oh, maybe we need to get some candy.
Okay. Don't you have about another month before the swarms become problematical to catch? They start getting more aggressive as it gets hotter.
They'll swarm whatever. You just have to catch the swarm.
Yeah, I've been told that you've got to be more careful. Like this time of year, they're easier to catch and less aggressive, so you're less likely to get.
Well, I think that I think anybody that was doing that, well, first off, they probably didn't put their hood on or anything. Which, just put your hood on and some gloves. Like, why not? I know a lot of people that watch YouTube stuff and they're like, yeah, I don't need to put my gear on. It's fine. And then they get stung a bunch, and you're like, yeah, just put a jacket on, put a hood on. It's not a big deal. It takes 30 seconds.
2 seconds. Right.
But the bigger issue with catching swarms when it's hot out is that I think people are trying to catch them during the middle of the day, which is not when you want to try and catch swarms. You want to try and catch swarms in the early morning because that's when they're the most docile. It's been cold all night. Well, not cold, but cool. I don't think a lot of people realize that the inside of a beehive, they try to keep it at 94 degrees in there.
Yeah.
So it's like a sauna inside there.
They're only just starting to come out to look for water and stuff, so they're still in the hive.
Well, they're just chilling, waiting to get some sunbeams on them. Well, they're not in a hive, right? When the swarm leaves, they're just in a ball in the tree somewhere.
Right.
They're in a pile. They're hanging on a branch, doing whatever. And so you basically want to go get them in the morning because the whole entire night's worth of warmth, has left them, right? So they're not going to be super active. They're all going to be huddled together, keeping the queen warm and keeping all the bees on the interior of the basically ball of bees. They're trying to keep everybody warm, and they're waiting for the sunbeam to come out to help warm them back up because they absorb a lot of warmth from the sun itself. The sun rays beating on them warms them up. So, it's the same thing if you're just sitting in a black car in the sun and you're like, why is it so hot in here? Because, it's absorbing the power of the sun. So you basically want to catch them in the morning or the evening once they've cooled down, sort of dusk. The sun's kind of gone behind the trees and hit the horizon, and it's cooling down, and they're all kind of huddled up to get ready for the night. You can kind of catch them around that time too. Is a good time. But if you're doing it like midday, good luck, man. You're probably gonna get stung because they're fired up. Midday.
Literally.
They're like maximum warm, ready to go. They're primed up. And one of the things with with swarms and when the swarm leaves, a lot of times like the protector bees, like the guardian bees, the ones that will sting you if you're coming up to the front of the hive, a lot of them don't go with the swarm, as I'm told. So I've definitely noticed that like the swarm bees are way more docile than I guess my expectation was, or my memory was. Although when I was a kid, bees seemed scary, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get stung, I don't know.
It's gonna hurt.
I got stung in the face because I was filming Vicky messing around with the hive, and I didn't have my hood on because I was just trying to film and record some video, and I got stung in the face. So it's fine. But Vicky seems to be the one that reacts to bee stings a lot more than I do.
Uh-oh.
I don't.
I got stung on a fresh tattoo once. That sucked.
Did it?
Yes, because now periodically the blues, because I got stung in an area that was blue, will react. Usually reds will react, but the blues will react to,
right,
I don't know, strawberries or something. Or if I get another sting, they'll rash up. Is she looking allergic, like time to keep an EpiPen handy reaction, or?
I don't know. She got all swole up in her arm, and then she had to take a bunch of antibiotics and stuff.
Ruh-roh.
Her arm swelled up like Popeye. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but her arm swelled up like Popeye arm. She got stung right in her forearm, right up here, and it looked like she had been jacking off with one arm,
Rude.
She looked like she'd been frantically masturbating with her one arm for decades,
Definitely EpiPen time.
I don't think that's what it was. The doctor said that they thought it was an infection. You think that the bee sting got infected? Like somehow it stung a spot where there was something that got into the bee sting and then made it infected, like right away. They didn't think it was an allergic response. So I don't know. And I'm not
small.
What's that?
It's such a small piercing of the skin, such a small area, to think that, okay, you think of larger cuts and stuff getting infected, not something that tiny.
Well, people got shit all over their skin, We're coated in all sorts of weird stuff.
People should stop shitting on themselves then.
Well, if they're shitting on themselves, me telling them to stop is probably not going to stop them from doing it,
No.
They probably need mental help. No, I'm just saying that like our skin's covered in all sorts of crazy stuff that it could cause an infection. And my guess would be that like if she had a cut and then washed it out,
right,
like it'd be much more likely to not get infected because she would have washed it out, right? And then put some antiseptic spray on it or something. But we put baking soda on it, right?
Oh,
so,
tried to draw the stinger out, yeah.
I mean, she got the stinger out. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so like we're just, that's what they said.
Right.
So I'm going off their advice. She took the medicine and she got better, and they didn't say get an EpiPen, right?
She no longer has Popeye arm, and
yeah.
Okay.
If they had said get an EpiPen, I'd be like, yeah, word. Maybe she's allergic, but they didn't think allergy was it at all.
Yeah.
So, although she does wear gloves now, which is the smart thing.
That is. Does she have the big beekeeper gloves that go all the way up to the elbow?
Let me see if I got some. Let me see if I got some beekeeping footage. Yeah, this will work.
Ooh.
Add source. We need a video file. Then I gotta go to editing. Then I gotta go to da 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 da, and then the whoop 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 whoop, and the other thing. Drive X. I gotta go to Drive X, bro. Where the F is Drive X. Here we go. Down. Then we gotta go down here to X. Then we gotta go to Abispus. And then we need 102 Mark 13131. What the F? Let's see. I think this will work. This should work. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, never mind. It doesn't work very well. It's not rendered. It's just full-on video file.
Big crazy giant file.
Yeah, giant file. Yeah, never mind. You guys will have to wait for somebody to edit that. I don't know who's going to edit it. Somebody will edit that video someday, and you'll get to watch it.
She is with bees.
What's that?
I said I'm just looking at the little video
Ah.
that showed before you turned it off.
Yeah, it's just not playing right, so.
No.
It's too much data. I really want your files to be named DA, 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 and WWO, WO, WO. Actually, they're normally ASDF, 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 ASDF. It's normally these four fingers go yak, 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 like this. They're normally like that. Yeah, they normally go like that. And then I have no idea what the hell is going on with my files. But most of my most of my stuff now is fairly labeled, I think. Yeah, because we have the Bucephalandra video, we have aquarium shorts, we have the tank cleaning before and after and setup. What is that? We have a Pogostemon Helferi video that needs editing. We have a Crypt Wendetii video that needs editing. We have bees. We have 4 bee videos that need editing. We have Rotala Hara, modifying and rebuilding the reactor. No, that one is just hooking up the reactor. We have aquascaping, 120-gallon aquarium that needs fucking editing. We have a CO2 setup. We have filter media cutting, which I don't know what the fuck. What is that? Let's look and see what this is. Let's look.
I bet it's cutting filter
What is
media.
it?
What do you
I
think?
bet it's cutting up filter media. I wonder if it's any good, though. Let's see. This might not be a good video. Oh, it's me walking around the shop, finding... Oh, there I am, finding some scissors. Okay, going back over there. Going back over there. Okay, oh, the camera's spinning around and is upside down. Okay, well, we'll see if that ever makes it. We'll see if this ever gets edited. Oh, that's me cutting filter media. Yep, that's exactly what that video is. Let's see what else we got here. We have aquascape and how to make a selection. Filling 120-gallon aquarium. We have here's some A camera. Here's some A camera stuff. Let's see if I have any words of wisdom. Oh, hold on. Let's double check that again. Okay. All right. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you, recorded video guy. Yeah, I have lots of videos to fucking edit, and I don't know when I'm ever going to do it. Maybe I should just start doing editing on a live stream, because there's only like 30, how many people here? 30 people here today? So potentially you guys might watch the thing that I edited, and then they'll be the same. But also we could just edit during a live stream.
Edit together. That's right. And maybe you'll teach somebody how to edit, and many will volunteer to help you edit. Wow,
Oh.
that was easy, Joel. We can do that too.
I could like teach people how to edit. Look, you just cut and you put the things in there. You just cut it, you put the things in there, and then you're like, listen to a whole bunch of different things of music. Oh, this has audio. Whoops. Oh, there we go. We'll mute the audio. Oh my God, this video sucks. Don't even have the stuff in frame. Oh, there we go. I have it in frame later, so I at least have something. Okay. What is this?
Get to go
Vertical
back
video.
and voiceover stuff.
Yeah, and then you got to do voiceover stuff. Then I have video from the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society auction. I have stand finishing. Oh, yeah. Building the aquarium stands and then how to finish them. I have what I don't even know what that is. Well, we have some unboxing videos. We have a tour of a business. We have all of the Alyssa remodeling videos that need to be edited, which I need to find somebody to edit these videos together someday. I don't know. What else do we have here? We have the deck to install into my truck. We should edit that someday. See if Decked will sponsor the YouTube channel. We have the desk. We have the desk build. Oh my God! I have all these videos about the desk, building the desk. Yeah, that's just in this drive, and then I also have other hard drives that have other videos. What else is in here? Oh, I have this whole Oroville saga that's going to come out later this summer.
Yeah. As it lengthens and then comes out.
No,
Son of Oroville.
I'm releasing the Oroville videos this year for a reason.
Oh.
To remain unnamed. But look at this shit. I got an amazing shot here. Oh, you guys can't look at it. Oh, maybe you can. Maybe we just go. Maybe I open it over here and then I can just screenshot. Hold on. Apparently Photoshop is loading, even though I don't have it set as my my preview. All right, let's get out of here.
I take 30,000.
Open with. Open with. Where's the open with? I want to open with a different program. Oh, is it this one? Is it this one? Oh, that's I was trying to open the raw file, so I needed a. Wait, what the? Where's the open with? How come I don't have open with? Hey guys, my computer.
Just show it's open now. I don't know. It's been weird trying to find it lately.
Yeah, but it just automatically opens Photoshop, which now we have to wait for Photoshop to load. Oh, there we go. It's loaded. Just so I can do a screenshot of something I just wanted to show you guys. Because we can do the smart selection and then just go like this.
Be smart.
Boop.
Pencil.
Look at that. Look at this beauty. This is a beauty shot right here. Look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful tree. You guys like beautiful trees? Huh? Eh? No? Okay. Sorry.
I do. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you have to wait.
The video. Oh, there it is. That
I have lots of crusty mountain shots. I got a bunch of crusty lake shots. I got a mountain in the fog. We got a mountain in the fog, folks. We got a mountain breaking through the clouds. We got a whole bunch of lovely shots for the Oroville videos, and then we also have a whole bunch of other Oroville video stuff. What else we got? Let's take a look. We got the backup drive. We got this other hard drive over here. What else is in here?
Wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. Yeah, I have a bunch. I have a lot of video to decipher here and turn into YouTube videos for you guys. But I just, like I said, maybe I should start editing this shit on a live stream. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, I don't know.
it would make more sense to some of us than Risk. Speaking
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah, but I can't play.
So
I
many-
can't play video editing. I can play Risk though.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Good point. Let's play a game of Risk. It's gonna piss people
Damn it.
off. You guys get so mad when I play Risk, but I don't know what to tell you.
Take your relaxation where you can. It's your day.
It's
Your
it's my day.
decade. It's your decade day.
I can understand the appreciation for a remarkable tree. That's right, Aubrey. I love remarkable trees. I love trees. I will admit. I've seen many patients with lupus, and it can be brutal. What are you guys talking? What are you guys talking about? Lupus?
Bee stings and lupus.
Oh, bee stings and lupus. I've only been
Bad
stung by
combo.
bees that I've accidentally stepped on. These gentle bees. Yeah, these are gentle bees. Immediately gets stung. I only get bit by insects that are trying to eat me, like mosquitoes, horseflies, and ticks. I really want your files to be named. Oh yeah. I don't. It's been a long time since I've had a tick, but I don't like getting ticks on me. I don't know. What's up with anybody that would want to get a tick on them. I don't know if I've ever met that person. There might be somebody, but I've never met anybody that would like it.
Suck whoever there. I've had ehrlichiosis and Rocky Mountain spotted fever, as I noted in the chat, at the same time, and that was not fun.
I don't know. I'm not making a whole lot of sense from the chat. When I get a tick
Yeah,
on me,
it says
actually
lupus.
considering lupus. Because of ticks?
And
Oh, yeah. Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want lupus, and I don't want anybody to have lupus. D-Rock says, I'm a city worker in the parks department, and I'm currently trimming trees. Nice. Nice. I like trimming trees. It's a good time. I don't know if I'd want to make it my career, though. I think, like, the felling of the trees and whatnot, I could definitely leave that to somebody else. But, like, milling lumber, man, I'm telling you. If there was a way for me to start up a small business milling lumber, I would probably do it. Now, I've looked into it, but it's just probably not possible, realistically.
I saw a mill like the one in your video on Facebook Marketplace the other day.
Yeah,
But
those
it disappeared in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean those smaller mills come up for sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has more to do with like getting the equipment to like move logs and stuff like that. Like I could come up with the 10 grand to get a mill. Most likely I could do that. Getting another 25 together for a good tractor,
Right.
and then probably another 5 for ropes and chains and straps and come along, all that crap, and then like ramps, and then a kiln. A kiln would be
To dry everything out.
the real big issue.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because that's a lot of like, and storing the wood, that's the big issue too, right? Like I'd need a big place to store it.
Right.
I was trying to remember. I was trying to remember.
Is there any-
20 days is how long they're supposed to be in a kiln. I
kiln?
need some information on kiln drying large timbers. So 12 by 12s and stuff need to be in for like 20 days. Like 2 by 4s need to be in for like 3 days. It's not that long. But you got to think like you're running your lumber kiln. It's full. Are you cutting more stuff? And then you have to store it. Like storing it's the hard part. Like you need a big yard with a lot of covered area. What's that?
Yeah. I just said lumberyard.
Yeah, and that's the bigger thing is a lot of covered area and ability to keep it from getting rained on, which is a big issue where I live.
And a machine for wrapping it and that shit.
Bundling it's not all that difficult. It's obviously costs money, right? So all that stuff just ends up being like, well, this costs this much money. Like, oh, fucking great. Okay, all right, more money out the window. Got it. So yeah, realistically, like if I could just be sawing up lumber every day and milling lumber, it would be great. But it just doesn't. I actually sat down and kind of did the business like what does this business cost to start? Now, admittedly, we could do like a small milling service where you go to places and like logs are set up, but I still would need like a vehicle that could tow the mill, which wouldn't take much. It was just some kind of SUV or something is probably enough because they're pretty lightweight these days. But then a vehicle to tow like a tractor or a forklift or something that can really move the big logs around, get them up on the mill, then get the stacks of lumber, put them somewhere, because that's the big thing is like, Kevin and I did all the milling of the trees here, and we did that with basically like no equipment, but it really does. It slows down the process, and it really does. It starts to break down your body, like moving around big stuff like that. Like it will eventually start causing damage to parts of your body if you're doing it every day over and over and over again. It's one thing to like, heave and hoe for a couple of days and then get some rest. And then maybe go back to it like daily. A couple weeks later, then that's fine. But yeah, daily, day in, day out, it's like, yeah, people are like, oh, you just get super strong. It's like, also your joints and tendons and things will be getting damaged more and more every day.
Ask nurses how that worked out.
Yeah. What's that?
I was to say, ask nurses how the repetitive motions for bending over and lifting even lighter things works out, let alone logs, on a daily basis.
Oh, nurses?
I get stronger.
I could ask
I know you can, but
I could ask my mom. I don't know. She seems to be doing okay.
Oh, every nurse I have ever met in CNA, that's one of the big things is that they have huge issues with back and body breakdown from
a lot of them,
let alone logs and stuff.
A lot of them don't work out and they snack on a lot of candy.
Okay.
It's called the what do they call that when the nurses there's a term for it in the hospital.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. My point was then multiply that by 100 for dealing with logs but yeah.
Yeah. So as it says here, it's not accurate or appropriate to make a blanket statement that nurses get fat. People of all professions and backgrounds can have a range of body types and health conditions, weight gain, blah, blah, blah. Nurses, like individuals in any profession, may face challenges that can affect their health and weight, such as long and irregular work hours, high levels of stress, limited time for meal breaks, and exposure to unhealthy food options. So, it's one of the bigger things.
I was going for... Okay. I wasn't going for weight. I was going for more things like back issues and tendinitis and that kind of stuff.
So my former spouse was a nurse in the hospital, and we talked about this all the time. And what I'm saying is that like a lot of the nurses, they aren't, while they are physical at their job, it's not like working out, because a lot of the times they spend, you're kind of running around for a bit. You're kind of doing repetitive stuff, and then you go over to chart, and then they're having a snack while they're charting, and then they go back to work for a while, and then they have a snack over here because they don't really have a break. They work these like 12 or 14
Right.
hour shifts, which doesn't leave time to like, I'm going to the gym to go do yoga today. And so
Right.
that the long-standing joke with all of the nurses is that you're going to gain like this extra 40 pounds just from, doing the nursing thing. Now, I can say that because of my close relationship with
Right.
the people in the hospital my entire life. One of the things that my mom focused on a lot is that she played soccer. When in the 80s, she would go to jazzercise. I don't know if you guys remember jazzercise, fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
But my mom really focused on trying to do exercise outside of work because of a lot of those same issues that her friends and older colleagues and stuff like that were having because of
Right.
just the nature of the work, right? My mom spent a long time working night shifts. Like when I was a kid, my mom would work night shifts. She worked really hard to get off of night shifts so that she could be home in the evening once I was like probably, I don't know, I was like probably like 5 realistically when she started being able to be home during the day or during the evening, like when I'd get home. But I always got home before my parents growing up. But my mom really focused on trying to not, sort of fall prey, I guess, or whatever, to the nature of like being a nurse, right? And that they do end
Right.
up putting on all this extra weight. They're stressed out. They're working weird hours. They're doing all that stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why she has some longevity to her health, right?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. You brought up nurses, and I'm like, oh, I have lots of
Yeah. I didn't mean to make that sidetrack. Sorry.
I have lots of ancillary knowledge about that. But it's the same
Well,
thing.
and it's
It's the same thing in kitchens. It's why I have like tennis elbow and stuff from repetitive work, and the long time adage is that like you don't trust a skinny chef, but more often than not in my work experience, like you generally want the people that have some health consciousness around them being a chef. There are a lot of workers that don't have any kind of health on their mind that work in kitchens. But, I think I would have benefited a lot from a much more healthier lifestyle when I was cooking. And I might still be a chef now, but realistically, it's such a toxic environment. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But it has the same effects that like nursing does. Crazy hours,
Right.
on your feet all day, stressed out all the time, shitty work environment, improper breaks, no lunch. There is no lunch break working in a kitchen. That is not a thing that ever existed whenever I worked in the restaurants. You never got a lunch break. People got smoke breaks. That was basically it. It's like, why are you not working in the kitchen right now? It's like, I'm outside smoking, so I'll be back in 4 minutes,
Right.
while I huff down a cigarette and then go back to work because somebody just yelled at me for not being constantly engrossed in making apple fritters for people during happy hour,
Right.
because the expectation
I
is
think
that they're all
sounds
robots. And I think nurses get the same kind of treatment, that like they're just robots. They should just do whatever. But
Right,
doctors are
right.
getting the same treatment too,
Yeah.
I didn't have snack time when I worked in the OR. I never gained weight, but like Joel said, you definitely need to work out. It prevents injuries, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I learned it from my mom that like it's very important that like you are doing work, but you have to do some kind of exercise stuff outside of work. It can be low impact, could be yoga, could be stretching, could be swimming, could be anything that's kind of like that. But you got to do some kind of exercise outside of work. You can't just be under the expectation that like you're working and being busy at work is enough for the way that we eat nowadays. I mean, that's the reality. Like we eat very, very high calorie, very high enriched
Processed
foods.
foods.
Like, I don't really eat processed foods, but the food that I get now is such high quality, calorie wise, and quality period that like I'm still taking in a lot of calories, even though like today I had a cup of mixed berries, I had a packed cup of spinach, probably like 6 tablespoons of yogurt, a little bit of honey, some pineapple, avocado smoothie. I ground that up so that I could drink it because I don't want to sit down and eat all of these things out of a bowl. But I also had some sourdough toast with butter on it. And you go, well, like, how much was that? I don't know. It's probably like 800 calories realistically. And that was, most people would consider that to be like a pretty light breakfast. It's like, oh, you had fruit with a tiny bit of yogurt and 2 tiny pieces of sourdough toast that are like this big. But it's still probably like 800 calories. And people of the past would have probably never had those 800 calories in the morning. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I'm going to eat this piece of leftover salmon from yesterday, you know, or whatever, you know.
Right.
So we just have like a lot more opportunity to take in a lot more calories than our kind of predecessors ever did. It sucks because my daughter is also a nurse and she has to do the mandatory 12-hour shifts. Yeah, that whole thing, the whole 12-hour shifts thing is a clusterfuck in the hospital world that should just not exist. It's just bizarre that they have these required 12-hour shifts. I mean, I understand that the hospital needs to be open 24 hours a day, especially in the OR or the ED or whatever you want to call it now. But they should be operating on a revolving like 8-hour shift. But their opinion is like, well, we have to bring in that many more employees and then we have to pay for these employees. But we have to make money because we're a profit-driven system and everything has to be profit-based to exist in the United States, which in my opinion is just wholly fucked. You know, like I don't have a better way to verbalize that to people. Like just how fucked every aspect of our society in the United States is profit-driven, right? And wherever companies and corporations can extract money from, they're going to take it. At some point in time, there is going to be a workers' revolt, and my guess would be I'd be right there with them, because these fucking corporations have been getting away with so much shit for so long. It's bizarre. It literally feels like Bizarro World to me at times when I'm like, what is going on? You know, and it's been super normalized. Right? Like there's a generation now of, you know, the people that are like 21 years old that just think this is the way it is. And I can see that because my generation, I'm 44 now. My generation are like, this is just the way that it is. And the Gen X boomer fucking people are like, this is the way it is. Look how much money I got. Right? And yeah, it's not great. It's not great, and it's not good. But it's gonna take some big time changes for any of that to happen. That's why I say vote for Joe Biden. Vote for Joe Biden.
Yep.
Because most of his staff, most of his administration and staff and advisors and everybody agree with.
Or comparatively sane.
More of my stance than the others, as it were.
Yeah, vote for the guy who's not going to make the 4 years his revenge platform.
Right. You love my park as it has a big skate park. So I take care of the park, and when I get off, I come right back with my son to ride BMX. Hell yeah. Yes, I agree. 100%. I probably would love your park, and I don't know that I would take the big chances on my bicycle anymore as I used to. I don't know. I'd be torn as to whether I'd take big chances on my bicycle.
No catching air and spinning kick flips and.
I don't ride
those days
skateboards.
have passed.
I don't ride skateboards. I don't do kick flips. I was never a skater boy. They didn't write that song about me.
Good to know.
He was a skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy." You know that song? Yeah. That song was not written about me.
It's all bicycle song.
Bicycles.
Bicycles. Did you do the off-road or just the...
Yeah, BMX, off-road. I used to ride my bike everywhere. I don't know if I've told this on the live stream, but there was a long time that I didn't drive because I just rode my bike everywhere. I ended up having to get my license because the company I worked for required me to be the responsible guy to drive all the shit to job sites. And I was like, I don't have a license. And they're like, you better get one or you're fired. So I was like, okay. But that's how I stayed fit for a long time because I didn't drive a car anywhere. I drove my bicycle everywhere. In the rain, uphill, both ways.
As I say, both ways. In Seattle, that's entirely possible.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Actually, one of the biggest clusterfucks of Seattle was I lived in Fremont. Okay. And I literally had to go uphill both ways because I lived in Fremont and I worked in Pioneer Square. Anybody that knows, Pioneer Square is built at the bottom of the original Skid Row, where they used to skid logs down the hill, and everyone used to either be a prostitute or a murderer or a murdering prostitute or a serial killer that killed prostitutes, whatever. It was so bad on that road. That's where Skid Row came from in Seattle, Washington. And they lowered that hill. It's still steep as hell, but they lowered that hill with what is called a water monitor, which is a big water cannon. They shoot it at a hill until it erodes the hill down. And they did that all around Seattle. Anyhow, I worked at the bottom of Skid Row, right at the bottom of the hill in Pioneer Square in Seattle, and you could see the ocean from the front door. So I was basically at sea level. Now I lived in Fremont, up at the top of the Fremont hill, right by. I used to live right by the Fremont Troll. I could walk to the Fremont Troll in less than 5 minutes. I could just run right over there. I lived very close to the Fremont Troll. And when I would ride my bike to work, there was two options. I could either go across the Aurora Borealis Bridge. I could go across the Aurora Bridge, which most people that drive across it don't realize it is an uphill grade going towards Seattle. So you could go up that hill, and then you could get on that.
Great way to take your life into your hands as a bicyclist.
Yeah, you might die on that bridge, but now they have a big suicide fence on the side of it. Oh. But when I used to ride across it, you'd sit up on your bicycle, and if you fell over, you would just fall off the bridge because the railing on it was only like about yay tall for, like, I don't know, hobbits or something. And so if you're on a bike, you were like elevated up. It felt uncomfortable walking across that bridge, let alone being up on a bike. And people committed suicide.
Seattle drivers do not like bicyclists at all.
Oh, the cars aren't the problem. Because there's a cement wall. The cars would have to intentionally crash into the wall really hard to get you. It's more the risk of falling off of the bridge.
Right. Okay.
And people would, so about 5 or 6 times a year, people would jump off of that bridge and then they would die at the bottom. And then helicopters would fly around while they recovered the body. That's how you knew. So that's how you knew somebody had jumped off the bridge to kill themselves, because there would be helicopters flying around for an extended amount of time, and then the police boats would be down there converging on the scene, and then they would scoop up the body and take it wherever. Probably to experiments, I would guess. Anyhow, well, if you if I rode my bike to work, which I did all the time, I would ride up the Aurora Bridge up to the top of sort of the top of Queen Anne. It's like sort of almost the top of Queen Anne Hill, but then you'd ride down to work. But it's a long hill getting up and over. So oftentimes I would ride down from my place down to the shoreline, and then I would go along the shoreline, along the Puget Sound, and then you'd go up a hill and down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, and eventually get to Pioneer Square. But here's the crazy thing. I would go to work. I'd get there at like 6:30 in the morning, open up, work until about 10 o'clock at night. Sometimes I'd get off at like 9, whatever. And then it would be like, oh my God, I have to get on my bike and ride it all the way up to Fremont. It's just uphill the whole way back home. So if I got off work early enough, I could catch a bus that would take me sort of to an area that wasn't so bad to ride home.
Seattle's got a pretty good bus system, and it is bike friendly. They do, but yeah.
Seattle does not have a good bus system. Seattle has a bus system. It's not a good one.
It used to be. Granted, it's been a decade or so since I've ridden it, but it used to be. That was I didn't drive in Seattle for almost 20 years because I used the bus. Yeah,
Seattle has buses. It has never had what is considered to be an exemplary bus system, ever. I will debate that till the end of my days. Because if you've ever been to a city that does have an exemplary bus system and transit system, it's like,
it's not Chicago, it's not New York. I've lived in both, but
it's not Amsterdam. It's not Copenhagen. It's not London. It's not, like it's not any of the cities that would top the charts. It's not even close. And the fact of the matter is, like what I just mentioned a minute ago, was if I got off work early enough, I could catch a bus. Right? Because there was no bus after 9:09 p.m. So if for whatever fucking reason I couldn't get off work before 9:09 p.m., there was no bus. There was no bus at all that I could catch. Now, I could ride my bike up to 3rd and Pine, which, by the way, is a big-ass hill from Pioneer Square. Then I could catch that bus, which would take me towards the Northgate Park and Ride, but it would go up to the freeway and go to the Northgate Park and Ride. Then I could ride back down to Fremont, or I could get on another bus in the middle of the night at the Northgate Park and Ride, risking bodily harm from all of the crazy hobos that are around there, and it's dark. They didn't have any lighting back then, so the hobos would just come out of the darkness and try and rob you and do sex to your body or whatever the hell they were trying to do. I don't know. Yeah, so it's never been good, and then the more you get out of Seattle, the worse it gets. And I will tell you that, like, it's more than 10 years ago now, but they took away the buses that went around downtown Seattle. The one that whatever that one was called, it was called the trolley or whatever. Yeah. Like they took away those buses. Those buses went away. They were like, we can't do that anymore.
Run down the waterfront. But
we can't have any.
Rid of the viaduct.
Yeah, it's like we can't have any free buses. Why the fuck would we do that? Why would we want people to get around?
Yeah, use the train and pay for it.
And also, not to mention, like one of the biggest problems that we had in Pioneer Square was they put in these toilets. Hold on, when did they put these in? Self-cleaning toilet.
2002, maybe 2004, somewhere in there.
In 2003, they put in these 5 high-tech self-cleaning toilets for Pioneer Square and other neighborhoods, and these were fucking badass. These were awesome. These automated toilets were awesome, and then they took them out because all of the fucking dipshits coming into the city from Puyallup, from Redmond, from Everett, these out-of-town idiots would come and they would see those bathrooms and they would go, people are doing drugs in those bathrooms. Yeah, and guess what? And they're taking shits in there. And guess what?
As opposed to the sidewalk.
as opposed to the sidewalk. So then guess what happened? There was no more toilets for the homeless
Nope.
people. So now the homeless people would try to come into every business establishment to come take shits and then do drugs in the alley. Right? And you're like, now the junkies are outside and they're pooping and they're doing drugs outside because they don't have these self-cleaning bathrooms anymore, which, by the way, if you really needed to go to the bathroom and you were downtown, they were not the perfect toilet in order to utilize. They were not. They weren't like the bathroom at the Five Seasons, right? But
They were good.
you could go in there and you could take a dump if you really needed to, or take a leak or whatever you needed to do. Like I said, were they perfect? No, but they were available and you could use them. But all the out of town idiots started claiming that, people are doing drugs. Oh my God, and so they had to get rid of them. They voted to get rid of them after pressure for the city council, which, by the way, is another reason why the city council doesn't fucking listen to those people anymore, right? People go, oh my God, the libs running Seattle, they don't listen at city council meetings anymore. It's because every time this shit gets brought up at at the city council meeting, inevitably it turns out it's some dipshit from out of the city who drive in and come to the city council, kick up this big giant fuss about shit that doesn't affect them at all because they came into a fucking Mariners game one day and they
Or
saw
had to come to the courthouse. Or
they
whatever,
saw a
yeah.
homeless person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I was working at Downtown Emergency Services Center, so I'm very familiar with that segment,
Yeah.
that whole area.
And the thing is that people go like, why don't the homeless people use the homeless shelter to take dumps? Guess what? The homeless shelter is not open during the day. I don't know if any of you people out there, any weird red state Trump fan idiots with brain worms like RFK, have ever realized that, like, the homeless shelter kicks people out in the morning and they are not open during the day. They start taking people in the afternoon and they stop letting people in at 8:30, I believe, at night. So you have to be
Depends on
in
when the
there.
beds fill up,
You got to
but
stay
yeah.
in and then you can't come back out. What's that?
It depends on when the beds fill up, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck there for the night.
Yeah, but the shelter's not open during the day. The shelter is not, hey, we're here to be the bathroom for, the population of a city. That's not what they're there for.
And the urban rest stations that all the shelters and the city tried to put in place, not just the little metal ones, but the one further north where they could go and shower and do laundry and all the rest of that stuff, that all got shut down because, again, drugs, and it causes the homeless to come to Seattle because they have services.
Right. They're here,
Sorry.
whether you like it or not. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're gonna start infringing on people's constitutional right to free travel within the country, right? Unless you're gonna start infringing on that, got to realize they're gonna show up when the weather warms up. They're gonna be around when the weather warms up, because Seattle is a wonderful city to be in, especially during the summertime. They're going to be around, and you better
Very
address the
philanthropically
fact
minded.
that they're going to be around.
Yep. And by
My-
the way, when you go to San Diego, you'll see the same folks because they snowbird.
Right. Yeah, if you go down there in the winter. Yeah.
Yep. I have a friend that worked at the Y and at DESC, and he's like, I see the same people at both places. They know me by name. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to panhandle for a Greyhound ticket.
Right. Plus, no bathroom means people aren't coming to downtown to do their shopping because the bathroom is 2 hours away at their home. Yeah, actually. Yeah, it's a very valid point. And also, one of the weirdest things I've noticed with Seattle as opposed to other cities, I don't know this to be a fact in other cities, but it might be. So I don't know. If anybody has any input, let me know. One of the craziest things about Seattle is that if you go downtown during the daytime, like on a Wednesday, there are cops everywhere.
Yes,
There are police cars. There are police trucks. There are police buses. There are police on horseback. There are police on bicycles. There are even, to this day, police that ride around on those fucking rolling podiums, otherwise known as a Segway, the douche podium, the rolling douche podium. There are those cops. There are cops on foot. There are cops with directing traffic. There are cops that are going onto the buses. There are specifically bus police that are like, we're here for the transit.
Yeah,
as soon as the fucking
tube.
What's that?
As I say, they hang out in the tube, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, as soon as it gets 6:30 p.m., 7 o'clock at night, it is a fucking ghost town. You cannot get a police officer to come help you with anything. You'd be like, I have 3 gunshot wounds inside my body and the blood's coming out. And they'd be like, well, hey, we're busy right now.
Unless you're at the McDonald's there by Nordstrom, in which case...
No, the cops do not hang out there at night. They do not.
Not anymore? All right.
No, they're there because there are incidents for them to like file a report and try to arrest some people, and then they drive off. And then they're gone, right? Like they're responding to phone calls. Like they're not hanging around. But I will tell you, if you're out there during the day, if you're in Seattle during the day, there are police everywhere. You need directions, there's a cop underneath a cop. They'll be able to give you directions. Shoulders. They're piggybacking each other around. There are so many police during the day. But when I'd be out at When I'd be out at like 2:15 in the morning after the bar closed, after I got done closing down the bar and the restaurant, and you go out into the street, and there's not a police officer to be seen. But if I go out there...
God help you if you've got to make a bank deposit.
If I go out there at 2 p.m., there's cops everywhere. There's police on top of police on top of police. There are police that are doing that thing where kids try to sneak into movie theaters in like cartoons, where there's like a cop, there's like a kid up on the shoulders, and then they're wearing a big long coat, right? There are cops doing that. That's how much time they have on their hands. There are probably cops riding around unicycles doing some juggling just to stay entertained, right? But if you go out at night, good luck, man. There's a tumbleweed floating down, and just about every other miscreant that you could possibly think to run into will be freewheeling and running around. To the point, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the underground under Seattle. So on certain nights, when the tide would get really high, on those nights, a sea of rats would come out from the Seattle underground. And I'm telling you, it's like the lemmings out of some kind of movie. It's a sea of them coming up,
it's like a Grunion run
out of the underground and running down the alleys. Like the whole street was moving with rat running abouts. And but midday, like I said, you got a cop everywhere. There's a cop underneath a manhole cover.
Jaywalking. You get a jaywalking ticket just looking without crossing the street. You put your foot in the road. You're not in a crosswalk. I'm writing you up. What? I was just checking for the bus. Too bad. Yeah. And
I did get
and they're angry.
I got beep whoop whooped at for driving down 3rd Avenue when it was supposed to be buses only.
Ruh-roh.
It's like, why are there no other cars on this road? Boy, howdy. I'm just flying down 3rd right now. It's totally fine. Oops. Janice Lundberg says there are homeless shelters that are open 24/7 in Massachusetts. Oh, that's great. I mean, all of my experience with homeless shelters is that they close down during the day because they have a limited amount of staff, they have a limited amount of availability, and they need to do some kind of maintenance / cleaning, and they can't just afford to essentially stay open 24 hours a day
We'd let
because
'em
they
in.
need people there to keep
We'd,
an eye on the facility and stuff.
we'd let them in for meals, and then we'd put them back out again. It was like herding cats.
Right.
They'd get breakfast when they woke up. We'd send them out. We'd clean. We'd keep 10 volunteers. We'd bring everybody in for lunch. We'd triage whoever needed things like doctor's appointments or services appointments at lunch, send them out again, open back up at 4.
Right.
They'd come in, get beds, get dinner, and then overflow at the city hall
Yeah.
for those of us that worked grave shift. So, yeah, I could ride any bus safely and pretty much walk anywhere in Seattle safely because they all knew my name and they knew that I would deny them at the shelter if they were assholes. But most people don't have that, so.
Yeah. My buddy JP, he worked at the homeless shelters forever. He got his doctorate a while back and for doctorate in like social psychology or something. I don't know, I forget. But
Cool.
he finished his doctorate and he still works at the shelters as part of his higher education. But he was talking about it one day, because he spent so many years doing that and working in the shelters and all that he was like, you got to know their name because when they're out doing their change thing, which is, they're wandering around asking people for change. When they're doing their change thing, they don't look at anybody, right? And so he's like, we'd walk around town and we'd run into some guys that he know every once in a while. And they'd ask him for change, and he'd be like, Gary. And they'd be like, whoa, what? Like, oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry, man. Like, sorry about that, And
Yeah.
and so he was like, yeah, if you know their name, then everything would be fine. Which, I learned that a long, long time ago that, like, all the homeless guys, the ones that were reasonable, I would just learn their name and then be like, oh, yeah, can you blah-bitty-blah tonight? Hey, can you keep an eye on this thing? Hey, can you do this? I'll bring
watch the
you,
store,
we'll get you
whatever.
I'll get you a sandwich later, and stuff like that. You just buy them off with pizza and whatever.
Yep. Yep, and they tended to be, at least in DSC, because it's chemically addicted and mentally at risk guys, and then like the 50 women. Always such a weird combination. But for whatever reason, they would tend to like be really a lot more protective of the female workers. If the female workers were cool, they wouldn't hesitate to call you a bitch if you were. But if you were even semi-cool to them, they'd go out of their way to. So, and I spent a lot of time with the what the hell were they called? Courtesy patrol. The guys that would stand out and try to kind of run interference between the shelter denizens and the people going to the court across the street.
Yeah.
Because it was just a really badly placed combo. So, if you'd
True.
hang out with them, you get to talking to people and you get to know everybody. And it's a weird little sub-life. It's really painful to watch. And it is scary. And, I get why people freak out about it, but it also makes me sad that they don't take the time to, like, oh, yeah, they are people. Oh, yeah. So, anyway.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Why would you? All right. Well, big thanks to everybody for showing up today. Hopefully people hit the like button and they subscribe and they do all that. Thanks to Witchy Cat for gifting 10 memberships, and thanks to Scogland, Steven himself, the Scogs Shrimp and stuff for super chatting $200, man. Appreciate it.
And the witch guy, it's
like I
still
said-
hanging out up there.
Like I said earlier, I have a lot of videos, I have a lot of content to edit, but I need to immediately go back to work on work stuff. That is maintaining the mortgage payment and stuff like that. So, yep, I gotta go get about I might be able to get an hour and a half in before I got to go get Olivia, and then Vicky goes to her meeting. And Vicky's mom passed away, or not mom, grandma passed away, and so her mom and the family and everybody's up in Alaska. So she's probably gonna have to go up there this week. So the schedule's getting tighter and tighter. So we'll see how things go here in the future. But yeah, if you know anybody who wants to just do editing for free, let me know. Anyhow, love you guys. Thank you very much. 10 years is a big deal, and thank you for all of the condolences. I very much appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back in 3 weeks probably. Let's see. Well, yeah, like 3 weeks or something. I don't know. We'll be gone for a while. So if anybody was hoping that I was going to live stream a bunch while I was out of town, it's probably not going to happen because I probably won't be in town. But either way, we do what we can, you know? So it's a thing. Witchy cat, bye-bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.
We gotta play the rock music now. They can still hear us, though.
I won't talk.
I learned that. I learned that they can hear us.
I did too. They told me. And I was right about to give my social security number out too. And I know, telling you. Maybe next time. I'll get the bank account.